Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are back with Omikrons to have another rank up. And another question.
Greetings, Desiree. This unit commends your fulfillment of objectives relating to the care and feeding of Krabulov customers. Pescatarian menu items in particular have met with high approval ratings. Current mission is proceeding, as audio records indicate your people would say swimmingly.
We've learned much from the Karelians and Grabulovs, and the last Drex now is the site of joyful cultural exchange, but don't take our word for it. Come and see!
Cavistados moderately busy, waiting times nominal.
Should keep an eye on that one. We've already polished off 3 bowls of soup today.
Well-fed Grabulovs provide important mission data. Soup-related sacrifices must be made.
Aha, you like making customers happy? Admit it.
This unit merely acknowledges customer satisfaction as more conducive to mission objectives than mutual hostility. Speaking of which, Patron 5 and 6 should be closely monitored.
Try to change the subject on me, will? Wait, who are Patron 5 and 6? Uh-oh. Hail, new compatrons! I, Gemini, would like to personally welcome you to the last tracks. Can you tell me a bit about your homestar? Analyzing metaphysical waveform. Nihilism protocols activated. Beep, beep, beep. It is shared in our truth and shared the self. This is well. The universe too is finite. Only in death may we embrace true infinity. Did you just assassinate my barista? Why would you do that?
Situation analysis complete. New customers of a Nibirun civilization. This society eliminated concepts deemed unpleasant by organic life forms such as war and death. In so doing, individuals attained physical immortality and a state of unified comprehension. Their projections were insufficient, however. The Nibirun people only realized that the elimination of strife would similarly destroy their sources of joy when it was too late. At that point, they jointly decided it would be preferable to return to non-existence. Pardon this unit for a moment. Halting shutdown processes. Troubleshooter initialized. Repair features and self-determination algorithm restored.
Why have you returned this being to the finite? The golden mercy of Rala was so close at hand. Sweet mother, this is terrifying. Cultural exchange with them, we can't let them near the other patrons.
On the contrary, this unit believes that exposure to other civilizations may benefit these customers and invites them to tour the local simulations of dead worlds.
To be certain, the nature of other civilizations is a long-held curiosity of ours. It may be interesting to discuss their inherent futility.
That is the spirit. All societies in Ultima Thul are subject to unique manifestations of despair, so this unit recommends comparing each to the tragic perfection of a Nibirun.
We are in favor. To arrive at philosophical resonance with such beings will fill much time before blessed obliteration. What the hell's?
You have already demonstrated to the people of Ultima Thul that despair can be overcome. Projections indicate that, once restored, hope is not so easily extinguished.
So you think they'll be able to help each other, like you saved M104 just now? I suppose I should be glad that they took you up on it. Those Nibirun make my thirst on end. I don't want them anywhere near Elysium. It would be nice if we could cure them of their ennui, of course, but I cannot see how.
The Nibirun are the last dead civilization with sufficient data for replication. Should it prove impossible to turn them into satisfied customers, the probability of further developments on Elysium is low.
Oh, this is frustrating. Why must they be so much scarier than the other two? I retract my complaints about soup budget. Well, what if we invite patrons from other civilizations instead? The air, for instance? There's no reason we have to build all of our own customers, and they seem rather thoughtful. At very least, it would make good practice in philosophical debate.
This unit cannot guarantee that any amount of practice would prepare you to treat with a Nibirun. However, it agrees that inviting local life forms to the last tracks would be good for business.
Okay, then off to the ear. I probably should have asked before, but do the AI have mouths? That seems a rather important detail in this context. Not in the technical sense, I believe. They are gaseous life forms after all?
Current objective: convince prospect AI patrons of the desirability of last track sustenance.
Research for potential customers in this vicinity. Can you ask around the scary stone circle where everyone stares at the sky? Thanks in advance. Argumentative ear. Hey, would you like to come to the last tracks? A venue for replenishment and discourse, you say? I once visited similar establishments. They are memorialized today through the existence of our restaurant, where we traditionalists gather to restore our earth and vent our petty miseries upon one another. Your civilization is young, so perhaps you do not yet understand that one such location is more than enough. Even the most transcendent minds can only withstand so much vacuous discourse. The corporeal beings derive meaning from patronizing this cafe, you say? Felicitations! Personally, I've long since parted from material concern in favor of staring contemplatively into the abyss. To begin chasing hopes and dreams now would be to betray my very principles. Must we all be so condescending?
What is your report, Desiree?
Not interested. One would think they could at least show a bit of respect to you, of all people, out of self-preservation if not else.
The probability of further developments on Elysium is now infinitesimal.
No, I refuse to give up. Their terrible attitudes are all the more reason to make them see the light. Between the three of us, we will get them to enjoy themselves.
Implicit threat acknowledged. Initializing joint operation protocols. However, this unit must also acknowledge the non-zero probability of failure. In such a scenario, the odds of ever securing the patronage of the Air and Nibirun must be revised to hopeless. Projections indicate that the business may not survive this encounter.
You're as bad as they are sometimes. Do you know that? Desiree, you mentioned that the Air once offered you food, did you not? So they don't consider themselves beyond the concept of repast. There must be a way to build on that to make them understand. I just talked with you. The moment of truth.
This unit will attempt to analyze air fault patterns for vulnerabilities.
You interrupt my staring once again. Curious, is this a physical compulsion? No, we are simply seeking an enlightened opinion. You seem very focused, so surely none would be better suited to answer a few questions. I suppose that would be within the bounds of my principles, and as time is inherently meaningless, you will not cost me what might otherwise have mattered. Pray wait a moment and I will see if other rationally minded individuals are interested in this diversion. Well, sir, I leave the debating to you, Desiree. See if you can stimulate their inquiring minds enough to draw them to the cafe. Objective: choose the appropriate phrases to generate interest in the last tracks. As the resulting pontification may take several minutes, you may wish to cancel and define their registrations. Let's go! Truly, there's not like a rousing examination to take one's mind off a ceaseless torment of existence. Should we start with 350,173 questions or so, as is customary? $350,000? I was thinking more in the neighborhood of 3. I see that in my cognitive agitation I neglected to account for your base intellects. Carry on with your paltry queries, then. Do you have an interest in gustatory sensations? We long ago abandoned the pursuit of gustatory sensations, while we yet consume air for to sustain ourselves. We do not experience any particular sensation beyond the satiation of hunger. It is perfectly sufficient. Well, I'm curious. You indicated that many beings gather to consume sustenance at your cafe. Do these beings experience gustatory sensations in unison? Does that not confuse and upset them? Quite the opposite. Taste is a key to customer satisfaction, and our customers are very satisfied, I assure you.
Curiosity detected. This unit concludes that your question piqued their interest. The diminutive being suggests that gustatory sensations are a primary consideration for your establishment. Biologically speaking, however, these are not more than a secondary mechanism to prevent primitive organisms from starving to death. Explain this contradiction. Perhaps to truly comprehend our argument requires tasting for yourselves.
Perhaps it is conceivable that, having dispensed with our corporeal vessels, a prolonged absence of sensations experienced by way of a nervous system has limited our imaginations to a degree? If only we had possessed the forethought to record our gustatory perception for posterity. An unfortunate oversight, to be certain. Yet not an insurmountable one. If you were to visit the last wrecks, we could help you reclaim some of the knowledge that was lost.
Enticement detected. This unit proposes following this conversational trajectory to its natural terminus.
Though I acknowledge that there is some logic to your argument, we are perhaps at an impasse, given our form's lack of physicality. Nevertheless, I'm curious to know what manner of taste you would present us with at the gustatory organs. A taste of your former lives as corporeal beings, perhaps? Indeed, it is rational to assume that as corporeal beings with unique gustatory organs, we too once found certain sensations particularly stimulating. If your cafe is capable of providing knowledge of such long-lost sensations, we would welcome the experience. If anyone can do it, we can. We've served a variety of civilizations already with great success, I might add.
Operational success imminent. Allied units must remain engaging for critical final phase.
The operation of historically accurate sustenance will be no simple task, yet the hirsute beings insist on accomplishing it. Is this compulsion intrinsically or extrinsically motivated? My journal does suggest that making you happy will help progress my current quest. It's our deepest, most heartfelt desire to see hope restored to the universe. How very primitive of you. Very well, I'm convinced that your establishment will offer an authentic experience of the shackles of the flesh. Heartfelt, it says. How charmingly irrational. Nary a mention of a tangible impact our hope would have on the surrounding dynamics. There are those too, of course, but most of all, what we want is for our patrons to enjoy themselves.
This unit does not disagree with the assessment of organic life forms as primitive, but it is rich in irony given the irrationality on display at present. In any case, mission objective complete. Allied unit's performance will be logged as optimal.
We see that you indeed had few questions. When may we partake in sensory experiences? Well, first we will need to prepare a full course for gustatory experimentation. Experimentation, you say? That sounds most agreeable.
If this unit may suggest, Desiree's flesh would make a suitable medium.
What? Oh, I quite agree. No one has tasted more of tastes than the intrepid Desiree. Her palate is refined and her bravery unmatched. She will be the perfect candidate to try any and all dishes we prepare. We need only scan and transmit the sensory perception data to the heir's consciousness. Alright. I handle it. So, if I understood that correctly, I eat so they can experience the sensation of taste. It is unclear at present what their people may have eaten in their corporeal days, but we can begin by finding out what sort of taste they enjoy, then we'll find a recipe from there. Regardless, we shall need to fire up the ovens immediately. Last I checked our inventory, the kitchens are well stocked with vegetables, fish, and Charlian cookbooks.
The probability that the heir's historical diet was identical to that of the life forms of the Ferris is astronomically low. This unit proposes incorporating ingredients from other worlds as well. Scanning flavorsome category for ingredient data. Flour near the vitrified fort may contain contents suitable for use as seasoning. Data indicates that organic life forms love seasonings.
Don't hesitate to taste test in the field.
Remaining allied units should proceed to the last tracks for recipe analysis. This unit will answer any further customer questions.
Okay. We meet you later. Would be interesting to know what thing we would fish if we were fishing here. So if you were doing this quest as a fisher, because that actually changes in these quests what you catch, and you can fish in Ultima Thul into the into space, throwing your rod into space. Don't worry, I'm certain that N7000 would speak up if you were about to eat anything that might be lethal. Gustatory perception, how exciting! Are we being seated in anticipation of a sensation overwhelming their fragile nervous system? Do you think we can finally reclaim the sensations of our fleshy past?
The heir have thus far asked 81,120 questions. This unit can feel the last remnant of its patience slipping.
Despite its alien scent and outer-worldly location, this rare spice could not possibly be toxic to mankind, right?
A timely rescue. Chemical composition of ingredient within expected parameters.
Then let the experimentation begin. Not half bad if I do so myself. Dig in, Desiree.
Initializing progressive scans of gustatory inputs.
Alright, then I get to eating. Ooh. What will you eat? A vaguely terrifying fish with seemingly innocuous hamburger? The perfectly ordinary pasta. The fish is directly in front of me. Was that fish staring into your soul just now? Hopefully not. In any case, its pellet flesh must have thoroughly absorbed the added alien flavor. You certainly tasted something. The ordinary pasta. pasta is not unlike that of a Ferris, although the otherworldly flavors add a tang of complexity. As for the air, surely any gluten-tolerant life form enjoys a massive bowl of carbohydrates. And a hamburger. You are struck with a sudden certainty that Jemingway either borrowed or stole this recipe from the last stand. Although the locally sourced flavoring adds an unexpected spiciness to the medium rare meat inside, your tongue is now tingly.
Gustatory data received, transmitting to patrons 7 and 8.
So these are the flavors of which you speak. Thank you for helpfully categorizing each as sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and savory. I fear I'm quite overcome by the medley. It is impossible to say whether the sensory assault is identical to what I might have once felt when consuming sustenance, yet it is a useful reference to ruminate upon nevertheless. Then it was well worth the effort in my book. Tell me, did any of the dishes strike you as particularly enjoyable? Bloop. The first stimulated me in a most pleasing fashion. How was this flavor derived? That was flavored with local ingredients harvested by Desiree, garnished with powdered miracle shrimp. A type of crustacean the Grabulovs are farming in Elysion. Pulverized crustaceans! The nature of gustatory sensation is inscrutable indeed. That we have found these once pleasing perhaps indicates that we too once consumed mutilated decapods. I cannot imagine why we would have left that behind. I'm grateful to have even simulated the experience. And there we have it. Do you think this would be enough to bring about more changes to Elysion?
Inconclusive, this unit proposes that allied units are sent to scan for signs of change.
I'm quite curious about what changes into the terrain might come of the air's emotion. As a people, they do tend to the abstract.
Stigma 4 confirms that alterations have occurred. Let us proceed with a scan.
These creatures certainly went here before, but what are they? They put me in mind of a Ferris's jellyfish.
No results found in database. Furthermore, these lifeforms differ from mere simulations in Ultima Thul on a molecular level.
So you mean a new species has been born? Here?
Is it so illogical? Elysion's climate is sustainable for the growth of complex vegetation, and a significant portion of its surface is occupied by sea. Many lifeforms have arisen from similar environments. This unit will venture out under these conditions, the air's yearning for a corporeal past were sufficient to cause dynamists to coalesce as organic life.
That's incredible. New life. And such adorable life you are. Yes, you are. Like unto newborn babes, or so I assume. Eons have passed since we e'er have held a child. It is not conceivable that some part of us remembers? If these creatures arose from our fondness of our past. They may indeed be the nascent forms mentioned in our ancient records. I do see a certain resemblance. Would you like to give these little ones a name then? We lost the meaning to our names long ago, leaving us only the simple phonetic system we now employ for individuals. The suggestion that we might impart the significance of these children via nomenclature is depressingly ludicrous. Nevertheless, we shall call them Mifmizv. A peculiar name to share, perhaps, but one we may find the meaning in together. I cannot spell that to save my life, but it sounds lovely. I should like to remain with the Mifmizv for a time. They doubtless know much of gustatory sensation, other such facets of corporeality. In serving as their guardians, we may reclaim some of what was lost. New life has arisen from the air's longing. Nurture and protect the Mizv, for they have much to share. There's yet room for Elysion to grow and change. What other hopes will the power of Dynamis bring to life? It will be a great deal more difficult to focus with us creatures about. They're so wibbly wobbly. But they are.
This unit requests you contain yourself. Energy levels are already low due to Praeton's ceaseless querying. However, this unit does admit to curiosity regarding the new life forms. Though it's probable that the Mizv share data with the air's genetic memory, possibilities for the development are infinite. This differentiates them from other Dynamis-based life forms.
Or maybe they're just one more indication that EU Lord aren't doomed after all. This place was built for endings, it's true, but we have seen many a beginning. Let's keep a trend going, shall we?
Affirmative. Our mission remains one constant among many variables.
Reputation up! You achieved respected reputation with the staff and patrons of the last Rex. New quests from Stigma 4. I, Omikron. While you logically understand it to be impossible, Stigma 4 looks vaguely disappointed.
Commencing summary of recent past. At the Mangi manager's behest, recorded flavor profiles were uploaded to Omikron's central command and summarily distributed to all units. Subsequent logs indicate that 4 out of 5 Omikron would recommend the download of this data. However, anomalous interest in flavor profiles regardless of utility has been detected in a single rogue unit. Upon downloading the relevant data, the unit independently assumed unapproved objectives and was therefore scheduled for immediate termination in compliance with standard protocol. In defiance of protocol, the Mangi manager insists that support of a malfunctioning unit's independent research ultimately furthers the mission to live. While the data is insufficient to support that conclusion, simulations indicate that compromise is preferable to retaliatory eradication. Scanning for materials that satisfy demands of deviant unit. Ping. Appropriate flaw detected. If management insists upon this course of action, the procurement of malodorous plant life from the recreational areas in Elysion is recommended. Swiftly deliver material to aberrant unit idling at base Omikron. Please note that fiery annihilation of said unit has been expressly forbidden. Twice.
That's why he's disappointed, yeah? Or it is disappointed. It cannot kill that. If Stigma 4 had emergency lights, they would be blinking.
Emergency alert. Last Drax primary staff non-responsive due to insufficient energy levels. Provisional unit deployed. Requesting immediate assistance from nearest ally Desiree. Replenishing energy stores of inert staff member before provisional unit expire under the unreasonable expectation inflicted upon service industry employees.
I mean, it's not wrong, but okay. When the robot says it, it must be true.
Transition sent to the replenishment unit at base Omikron. Your immediate arrival is expected.
Corporeal hand to proverbial mouth. Stigma 4 some tasty suggestions for a superior life form. Before you ask, no, it's not you.
Last Drax request pending. Marine foodstuffs requisitioned by air. Analysis suggests direct correlation to recent sensory transference involving miracle shrimp. Scanning involvement for available resources. Narrowing results by compatibility with elite non-corporeal life form. Filtering riffraff. Ping. Supremist foodstuffs confirmed. Initiating order distribution sequence. Obtain appropriate quantities of superior flora inhabiting the Elysian seas. Specimen has been deemed sublime and therefore inappropriate for consumption by inferior life forms. Restrain primitive urges to gorge and deliver to the abode of the air.
Okay. Now, what do we have here? Supremist kelp. Of course you do. Description. No one likes to say its name and no one wants to eat it. Leave this plant alone, for God's sakes.
Initiating standard welcome protocol. Greetings, Desiree. Your imminent arrival was expected. Initiating instruction. Direct energy life forms from this pillowy life form into the incapacitated Gordona Guardian to restore basic function. Suspicion detected. This unit assures you that the Mismis was obtained ethically and with permission from its guardian, Air. Please commence siphoning at your earliest convenience.
In a moment. In a moment.
Oh, delicious. Scrumptious.
You have some plants. Offering of unconventional comestibles confirmed. Reconvening emotional state to grateful. This unit thanks you for your unwavering procurement of this object, despite its vernacular association as utterly inevitable. Confusion detected. Retrieving supplementary data. This unit will commence researching on the ingestibility of this material by organic organisms. Your future participation as test subject would be particularly favorable. Invigorating results statistically guaranteed. Have fun, friend. Yes. It's a mount. And we are in it. Effectively swimming. Shocking!
Initiating startup sequence. Last track security protocol engaged. Returning to post to eliminate intruders. Eliminate intruders, beep beep boop. Recalibrating, reverting weapon systems from purge to stun, returning to post.
Welcome, corporeal messenger. Have you the edible appurtenances I ordered? Fascinating. I thank you for obtaining such intriguing victuals. After hearing my brethren's account of a miracle shrimp experiment, I have taken to engaging in the semi-regular indulgence of such tantalizing stimuli. Yet, with repeated exposure comes the deadening of pleasures. As that primitive maxim suggests, variety is the spice of life. Indeed, your contribution is the proverbial spice which shall allay the monotony of my endless existence. I thank you. And back to Stigma 4.
Retrieving data from aberrant unit. Research on the flavor of traditionally inedible objects confirmed. Per management's inadvisably whimsical parameters, this operation has been reluctantly categorized as a success. Extrapolating potential outcomes. Should aberrant unit designate the material as flavorsome, sensory data may be transmitted during oil changes as a culturally accurate simulation of organic mealtime. Recalibrating predicted results. Beep. Popularity of such a service projected to severely overwhelm current supply of Omikron grease. Though auxiliary protocols for oil change preparations will be implemented immediately, future assistance may be required. Retrieving data. Previously incapacitated units back online and functioning normally. Coffee-specific disaster averted. Providing supplementary information. Evidence suggests that Gordona Guardians were manned units of war, but data insufficiencies necessitate units currently operate as automata. Detecting depreciated levels of concentration. Pinpointing relevancy to Desiree. Until pilots can be properly reconstructed, regular replenishment of energy stores will prove crucial to Last Track's operations. Future requests for assistance are inevitable. Return of Desiree confirmed. Complicated emotional state detected. Requesting additional information. Voice analysis complete. Mission success. Engaging experimental exaltation sequence to restore default emotional state. Fantastically achieved, Desiree. Your presence is a beacon of light to this universe. Beep. detecting error, aborting excitation sequence. Analysis suggests that providing sufficient variety for air with gustatory interest will require thousands of individual taste samples to be accumulated and codified, recommending Desiree's immediate and total recuperation of strength in light of future missions.
Alright. And with that we successfully recruited the heir and for our cafe as patrons, and the Nibirun will apparently be an ongoing project. Also the Myths are just adorable. Good. Until next time, man, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.